evening. The Conservative MP for Dover, Natalie Elphicke, has dramatically defected to Labour. She blamed the government's failure to stop the small boats crossing the Channel. She said the Tories have failed to keep our borders safe and cannot be trusted.
She won't be standing again at the general election. Well, in a moment we'll have reaction from our reporter Jo Coshin, who's in Dover. But first to our political correspondent Phil Hornby. So Phil, how much of a shock was this?
Sangeeta, it was a total shock. This has been kept a very close secret, known only by Mrs Elphicke and a very small number of people at the top of the Labour Party. Now, last week, a Conservative MP defected to Labour, and there had been rumours here that another defection could be in the offing, but nobody thought it would be Natalie Elphicke. This was the first anyone knew of it. Prime Minister's questions, and the MP for Dover heads for the Labour benches and shakes hands with her new leader.
The Tory MP for Dover, on the front line of the small boats crisis, says the Prime Minister cannot be trusted with our borders and joins Labour. What is the point of this failed government staggering on?
You're very welcome. Then off to an office in the Commons for photos and the explanation.
The Conservatives stood on a manifesto that was very much centre ground, but under Rishi Sunak they've abandoned the centre ground and broken many election promises.
Natalie Elphicke became the Tory MP for Dover in 2019, taking over from her husband Charlie, who was facing sexual assault charges.
It's a great result for the Conservative team, and it's an absolute reflection on the fact that here in Dover and Deal we've been given a clear direction.
She spent most of her 4.5 years as an MP talking about stopping the boats and also saying Labour couldn't do it.
In my constituency we see Labour's true colours. It's an open borders, pro-immigration party. It doesn't want to stop the boats. Just like Brexit, so on small boats. Labour cannot be trusted and it doesn't listen. Under Rishi Sunak, he is the man who said he would stop the boats, and yet when we look at this year alone, it's record numbers of small boats arrivals. So he's not stopping the boats and he's letting the country down. Well, meanwhile, under Labour, they are clear that it is important to have defence, and they want to make sure that they have good national security.
Today's news caught the Prime Minister and the Conservatives completely on the hop.
I was absolutely staggered. I was standing there when Keir Starmer said, and our newest MP, the MP for Dover, and I looked over and thought it can't be Natalie Elphicke, because she spent all of her time attacking Labour MPs in a pretty strong, vociferous manner, writing articles about Labour, calling them lefties, to actually then be sat with them. I just thought extraordinary.
As the new Labour MP for Dover left the Commons with her leader, everyone was asking, are there more defections to come? The Conservative Party tonight say that Natalie Elphicke has joined a political party that is against all the things she's argued for as far as stopping the boats are concerned. And Tory MPs, once they got over their initial shock, as we heard from Hugh Merriman there, are pretty furious tonight. The North Thanet MP, Roger Gale, has said this is a monumental demonstration of disloyalty.
Phil, thank you.
Well, Natalie Elphicke has been Dover's MP since 2019, so how has her defection to Labour gone down with constituents there and with the Labour parliamentary candidate as well? Let's talk to Jo Coshin, who's been finding out for us. Jo, what have people been saying?
Well, Matt, it's gone down quite well with Mike Tapp. He's been selected already as the Labour candidate for Dover at the next general election, and despite Natalie Elphicke's defection today, that remains unchanged.
The residents in Dover and Deal can be assured that they still get to vote for me, former soldier who's absolutely dedicated to service. I've been listening to them on the doors over the last 2 years. I know there's a lot of them switching from the Conservatives to the Labour Party, and now of course we have Natalie Elphicke too.
Well, she hasn't been welcomed with open arms by all Labour members. As for voters here in Dover, they have their gripes over her handling of the sacking of P&O workers and for her continued handling of the small boat crisis. But reactions here today were quite mixed.
I'm not surprised, and we won't notice she's gone. She's certainly not contributed anything that I'm aware of anyway.
She has always voiced sort of very conservative things, which I don't think have gone down with Labour in the past, so I find it difficult to think how she could align herself with Labour.
They haven't reduced the numbers of coming across. In fact, it's increased. So I think she's probably right in saying they haven't tackled the problem. And I'm sorry, sending them to Rwanda isn't the solution either. So
I think it's terrible, it's cynical. Ploy walk from one side of the house to the other. She's got Tory running through and through. And if she thinks she can stand as a Labour candidate at the next general election, she won't get my vote.
She's obviously looking for somewhere else, but, you know, fair play. She's finally come to her senses, and it's good to see.
I don't think the lady really knows where she's going or what she's doing and where she belongs. And she's had a lot of things going on personally as well. So sometimes these things are a little bit of an scapegoat to take your mind off other things. But good luck to her, whatever she decides to do. So, but as long as I can swim every day in the sea, I'm quite happy.
Well, some believe that could be the thought process of the Dover MP. Many people I've spoken to today have compared her defection to swimming away from a sinking ship. And Natalie Elphicke insists she will be standing down at the next general election, one she says cannot come soon enough.
Joe, really interesting mix of views there. For now, thank you.
CCTV